So please welcome Margaret Cardoza.
Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to share with you an experience of Hawaii that my husband and I experienced at the crosswalks in Honolulu. Well, how exciting. The mountains, the oceans. Oh, everything's so beautiful. And we got invited to go to many events for free. Well, how exciting. Free breakfast and entertainment. Well, it was 2 blocks from where we were staying. We decided to just walk up a couple of those streets. As we found the street at the Hard Rock Cafe, ooh, it was halfway up the street. We were on the opposite side, and since my husband is visually impaired, I could tell him that we were almost there. As we proceeded up the street, halfway there was a police officer parked on our side of the street, standing outside. Nothing was going on except the whole crowd over at the Hard Rock Cafe. People welcoming everyone. Come in. It was so sweet, and hugs, and everything was so nice, and the police officer was just standing there. So it looked beautiful and innocent, and I even thought, wow, they're helping take care of us tourists too. How wonderful. So we gestured to the police officer. It was a one-way road, so we were walking against traffic on the opposite side and being midway and eager to get our breakfast. We stood behind the police car feeling so safe with the officer there, seeing no traffic whatsoever. We proceeded to go over, and as people at the Hard Rock Cafe were waving at us, and they're going like this at us, and I'm like, yes, that's where we're going. And Abby and I started walking across, and all of a sudden we hear, hey, you, what do you think you're doing? Oh my gosh, startled, frightened. What's wrong? Get over here, the police officer says. Yikes! I haven't had breakfast yet. So Mario and I proceed to walk over to the police officer. Yes, officer, as I said to him, and my husband's standing there. And the police officer was staring right at my husband, right in his face. What do you think you're doing? I'm on the other side, watching as the police officer, his fingers were forming into fists, and he's still telling, what did you think you're doing? Do you know what you did wrong? My husband wasn't saying anything, and I'm cringing as I'm watching the officer spitting blood at this point. And I yell out, was it jaywalking? Yes, he says. And he looks right at my husband. Do you know that that's against the law in our state? If you dare crosswalk like you did, I can fine you over $300. And he's getting out his ticket form, and he's getting his paper, and he's yelling, didn't you see me? He's yelling at my husband, and my husband's still standing there. He the officer is yelling more at him. Didn't you see all those people waving not to cross? Oh, was that what they were and still, the officer demanding attention by my husband, and my husband with his one eyes just kind of standing there, and I couldn't stand it any longer. The pain was too much for me, and I scream out, "He's blind! He doesn't see you! That's why he's not giving you eye contact!" And the officer jumped over and looked and said, "Sir, is that true?" And my husband, "Yes, sir, it's visually impaired. It's one eye, and I see a little bit, but not everything." And so the officer, embarrassed that he was not getting the eye contact that he demanded from my husband, turned to me. Look at me and said, "How dare you threaten to cause harm on your husband? What kind of wife are you to dare let him cross the street? He's depending on you. And, oh, you're horrible." I'm like, just write the ticket and let's go. At this point, I'm surrendering. And the police officer says, "I'll show you how to help your husband walk across the street properly in our state, Hawaii." Okay. At that point, I'm just backing off, and he took my husband's arm, which you're not supposed to do with people who are blind, and I'm not going to correct him. And so I stood back as he proceeded to show me how to cross the street with my husband. And the two of them were walking ahead of me in this parading condition, and all of a sudden, the officer, holding on to my husband, walked him straight into a bicycle. My husband is almost falling to the ground, trying to get up, and the officer recognized that he walked him into the bicycle, stepped back and looked at both of us, and he says, "Just make sure you use the cross streets at every intersection like you're supposed to." And he walked off, and we proceeded to go all the way up to the end of the street, wait for the signal that said you may cross over. Not a single traffic is existing at the whole time here. We wait our turn till the light says go ahead. We proceeded to go over, go all the way down to just halfway to the Hard Rock Cafe, in which all of them witnessing this event paraded us with lots of extra gifts, and it was a spectacular entertainment. So with this thought for all of you, when you do vacation, consider contacting the police department to ask for their brochure. Thank you very much.